another live PEP class. Today being Friday afternoon, we're going to be looking at our PEP curriculum-based tests. Thank you for joining us, and we're going to go straight into the matter as soon as I run the schedule by you. So stay tuned for that, and then we'll come right back. Hello, CSEC math students. I know you are preparing for your math test, CSEC exams coming up. I have a very important question to ask you. You like my new hat? Thank you. Now, another important question. Have you ever gotten a math problem wrong, making one little mistake? I'm sure you have, as thousands of other students have. Now, in this series, we're going to be looking at the common mistakes that students make with all the topics in CSEC math. We're going to look at the common errors, the series, so that you can avoid making those mistakes. So stay tuned. Hello scholars. I know that most times when students get problems wrong in mathematics is as a result of one single error or one mistake. Well, this is absolute, and we're going to be looking at the common errors students make in the different top mathematics. If you know the errors beforehand, we certainly avoid making. Are you ready? Come on, take my hand. Welcome back, everyone, and I want to welcome those who are joining us wherever in the universe you are watching. Welcome to those on the chat. I'm going to invite my scholars now who are in studio to join me. Welcome, Madison. Welcome, Jer. Welcome, Amari. Welcome, John. Welcome, Jaden. All right. So here we go. So we're going to be looking at the PEP curriculum-based test, and we're going to look at a number of questions that were issued by the Ministry of Education, Youth and Information not so long ago to help PEP students to prepare for their exams. So these are all questions prepared by the Ministry of Education. So here we go. Oh, so I need the screen. Forgive me. Let me share the screen. All right, so there we go. Let's look at question number 1. Jer, can you read that question, please?
Okay, Miss. Kelly and Michelle are sisters who are both celebrating their birthdays this week. Kevin has asked their ages. Instead of telling him, they have given him these clues. Each of their ages is a factor of 24. 36 is a multiple of Kelly's age and Michelle's age. 30 is a multiple of Michelle's age but not of Kelly's age. The sum of their ages is 14. Help Kevin identify Michelle's and Kelly's age and explain how you got your answer. Kelly and Michelle are sisters who are both celebrating their birthdays this week. Kevin has asked their ages. Instead of telling him, they have given these clues. Each of their ages is a factor of 24. 36 is a multiple of both Kelly's age and Michelle's age. 30 is a multiple of Michelle's age, but not Kelly's age. The sum of their ages is 14. Help Kevin identify Michelle's and Kelly's age and explain how you get your answer.
All right, so let's hear. How old is Michelle? How old is Kelly? And how do we come by those ages? Any ideas so far? How do we approach this? Working it out, or is it that you don't know how to start? Are you working it out? Let me know that.
I'm working it out.
You're on to something. Madison is working it. There, are you working it out, or you're not sure how to start?
Miss, I'm working it out. I'm finding I'm listing out all the multiples of 36.
Okay,
Miss,
all right.
I mean all the factors of 36.
Jaden?
Working it out, miss.
Okay, so you're following step, you're working. All right, so let's just be patient then. My scholars are working it. I know that the question is in good hands. Right, Amari? I'm seeing coming in. But first, Amari wants to know if we're doing the quiz today. No, Amari, we're starting the quiz on Monday. So Sunday coming, the Monday will be what? The 13th of December. That's what our math is. And it will be right here in the video. So if you want to compete math quiz, just present yourself here. Okay, Amari. So Amari is now in the chat. He couldn't be in studio. All right. Now Madison is saying Mish 2 and Kelly is 12. Jane, Michelle is 10 and Kelly is 4.
Miss, is Michelle 6?
Okay. And Jaden is saying Michelle is 6. Work it together and see how that goes. Let's narrow it down. So that of their ages is a factor of 24. So let us list out the factors of 24 then. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 8, 12, and 24. These are the factors of 24. All right, the next clue says 36 is a multiple of both Kelly's age and Michelle's age. So 36 is a multiple of 1, it's a multiple of 2, 3. It's not a multiple of 4, so we can cross out 4. It's not a multiple of 8. It's not a multiple of 24. So those are gone. 30 is a multiple of Michelle's age, but not of Kelly's age. So of the numbers that are left, which one has 30? Which ones have 30 as a multiple? So that would be 1, 2, 3, and so Michelle's age could be any of those, and Kelly's age is the only one that's left, which is 12. And since they say that the sum of their ages is 14, so Michelle must be 2 years old.
So this I was correct.
Okay, somebody was correct. So we just followed the clues and narrowed it down first. So the first clue was each of their ages is a factor of 24. So we just listed out all the factors of 24. Then we can narrow it down some more because 36 is a multiple of Kelly's age and Michelle's age. So we can cross out the numbers that don't have 36 as a multiple. And those are 4. Sorry. Why did I cross out 4? I shouldn't have crossed out 4 for that one. So my scholars didn't correct me on that. 36 is a multiple of 4. So 4 should have been in here. Okay. So you should correct me, scholars. All right. So we can cross out the 8 and the 24. So 30 is a multiple of Michelle's age. So we still couldn't have the 4 here because 30 is not a multiple of 4. So these are the options of the numbers that are there. These are the possibilities for Michelle. And since these are the possibilities for Michelle, so 4 and 12 would be left as possibilities for Kelly. So that being the case, and since the ages must add up to 14, so these are the numbers that can add up to 14. 12, the 12 for Kelly, and 2 for Michelle. Okay. Jaden, can you read 2, please?
Okay, miss. Mr. Ferry owns a cow, a horse, and a goat. The table below shows how much grass these animals eat each day. A cow eats 2.5 kilograms of grass per day. A horse eats 1.5 kilograms per day, and a goat eats 3/4 kilograms, 3/4 of kilograms of grass per day.
3/4. 3/4.
3/4. Mr. Ferry owns a cow, a horse, and a goat. The table below shows how much grass these animals eat each day. A cow eats 2.5 kilograms of grass each day. A horse eats 1.5 kilograms of grass per day, and a goat eats 3/4 kilograms of grass per day.
All right, so questions that follow. So please jot down those figures for me. Jot down those. So the cow, 2.5 kilos per day. Horse, 1.5 kilos per day. And goat, 3/4 kilos. All right, so what do they want us to find now? So A says, how many kilograms of grass should Mr. Ferry buy to feed his 3 animals for 30 days? How many kilograms of grass should Mr. Ferry buy to feed his 3 animals for 30 days?
Excuse me, miss. Should we add all the fractions and multiply them by 30?
That sounds about right. That sounds sensible to me.
Miss, what was the last one?
3/4 kilograms. Welcome, Alexandra, to the chat. Welcome. Amar in the chat. Kemar Joes, welcome. Hey, welcome, madam. But please post your answers so we can see. And remember, when you're posting your answer, we want you to post the number that you're answering, because sometimes we move ahead of the chat. So we need to know what number you're responding to. So I'm seeing some answers coming in. Jer is saying 217.5. And other answers coming in?
Same answer.
Jer, what? So you 217.5. Well, Jer, walk through it. What did you do?
Miss, I first I converted them from fractions to decimals. So 1.5 is equal to 1.5. 2.5, 2.5 is equal to 2.5, and 314 is equal to 3.25. So then I add them all up together, and then I got 7.25.
Hold on. Hold on. The last one, 314. What's that?
Miss, that is 3.
It's supposed to be 3/4.
It's 3/4. 3/4. 3/4.
Which is
3 over 4.
0.75.
What's 3/4 as a
0.75?
It's
Sorry.
0.5.
When I added them
Quarters as a decimal is 0.5.
Miss, when I added them as
What
decimal,
did you get?
I got 4.75. 4.75.
You got what? Well, that's what I got as well. And 3/4. And then what did you do?
Miss, I'm multiplying it by 30.
You got what?
$14.25.
14 No. You're multiplying 4 and 3 plus 4.75 times 30. You get 4 something. 4 times 30. 4 point something times 30.
142.5.
That is correct. 142.5. 142.5. Now, part B. If grass cost $125.50 per kilogram, how much will the 30-day supply of grass cost? $125.50 per kilogram. How much will the 30-day supply of grass cost? Okay, so we're saying 7,883.75. Sorry, and 75 cents. Anyone begs to differ? So, answer correct? All right, so we're multiplying $42.50 by 125.5. Sorry, the first figure was not dollars. It was, so the 142.5 kilograms, and we're multiplying that by the $125.50 per kilogram. So that's $17,883.75. All right, Madison, please read question 3.
Okay, miss. It's kind of blurry. Sorry. Place a tick under the units of measurement that are appropriate for the measurement situation given.
Situation
Situation.
given.
Yes, miss. Situation. A. The distance traveled by a toy car on a countertop. B. The length of the track used for car racing. C. The thickness of a bicycle tire. Place a tick under the units of measurement that are appropriate for the measurement situation given. Situation. A. The distance traveled by a toy car on a countertop. B. The length of a track used for car racing. C. The thickness of a bicycle tire.
All right, so we tick for A. The distance
Miss
traveled by a
Centimeter.
toy car on a countertop.
Miss
Would it be
Centimeter.
millimeter, centimeter? Do we agree?
Miss, I kind of say meter because it could run across the countertop like a meter.
Um, hmm. Yeah, it could be meter. The countertop could be meter, yes. So if you take centimeter or meter for this one, if you take centimeter or meter for this one, I would accept that because it depends on, you have some countertops that are huge and you have some countertops that are relatively small, right? Just like a tabletop. So I personally take centimeter for this one. However, if you ticked meter, that would be acceptable as well. For B, the length of the track used for car racing.
Miss Kilometer.
Right. So I would use kilometer for that because if the cars are racing, they're going to cover a good deal of distance. And C, the thickness of a bicycle tire.
Like 1 centimeter or 2.
For this one, I would use millimeter. The thickness of the tire, the bicycle tire, I would use millimeter for this. Again, centimeter would not be off either for the bicycle tire. It all depends. So some of these questions, there is leeway, there's a little wiggle room, right? So millimeter could go for the bicycle tire, centimeter could go for the thickness of the tire. Number 4 says, so we have the net of a cube. That's the net of a cube that has an open top. Each square in the figure below has the same area. Which of the following could be the perimeter of the figure? 48 units, 66 units, 81 units, 108 units, 125 units. So let's go again. Each square in the figure below has the same area. Which of the following could be the perimeter of the figure? 48 units, 66 units, 81 units, 108 units, 125 units. Which one could be the perimeter? Which ones? Maybe are 2, 3. It's an open-ended question. So, hi Camille, welcome. Which ones there could be the perimeter of the net? And we need some rationale. Any thoughts? What are your thoughts? You're so quiet today, guys. You're so quiet. Are you on Christmas break as yet?
Yes, I'm on Christmas break.
I know my students are on Christmas.
No, miss.
Are you so exhausted from having? So why is everybody so hush today?
Miss, I'm not on Christmas break.
Okay. When do you get Christmas break?
Next week, Wednesday.
Okay. Come, tell me some ideas.
So can I find the area of each individual square or the perimeter?
Well, they're asking which of measurements could be the perimeter for the net. And what would be your reason? If you're working something, let me hear your ideas. What are you using? Okay, John, so yours is next week, Friday, all right. What are you working with? Idea? Pardon me?
Miss 48 units.
Miss, same.
Why?
Jaden.
Why?
Well, Miss,
48 units need the permit.
Miss, I did not know what to do here, so the only thing I could do that I thought of was trial and error. At first, I went for 48 units. I would divide that by 12 since there's 12. So there's 12 sides for the perimeter in this. There's 12 sides or lines each. I would get 4. So 48.
Okay. Well, that's a good idea. But is 48 the only possibility then?
Okay, there's multiple.
Miss, I say A, B, and C.
What?
A, B, and C. So that's 48, 66, and 100 and 81. Why, Madison?
Sorry, Miss, not C. I mean 108.
Why?
Miss, because they're divisible by even numbers.
They're divisible by even numbers. But why would that matter? Why would they need to be divisible by even numbers for that net? Jaden is on the right track. Jaden counted 12 sides to the net on outside of the net. So if we start here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So the number that we have for the perimeter must be divisible by 12.
Miss, I see
It's
D.
108, miss. It's 108.
Right. So Jaden said 48 could be one, and I'm saying it's not the only one. So
Miss D.
108 is also divisible by 12.
But not
So what
66.
so what would be the length of each side if it was the 108 for the perimeter?
9 and 12, Miss.
The length of each side would be 9.
And the
It's
width
12 sides. The length of each side would be 9. For the 48, as Jaden said, the length of each side would be 4 units. So the two possibilities for the perimeter are A, 48 units, and D, 108 units. All right, John, read this question 5. Is your mic working, John?
Oh, sorry,
Okay,
miss.
I don't think John's mic is working.
Yes, miss,
Is
it's working.
it?
Miss. Yes, miss, it's
All right, go
working.
ahead, John. Read that question. Go ahead.
Number, number 5. A square is shown with a diagonal. Megan says that two right angle triangles are formed by diagonals and two sides because the opposite sides of a square are parallel. Megan is correct about makes it kind of blurry.
Miss, it keeps going in and out, so it makes it hard to
Read it
read.
again.
For me too, miss. It keeps on
Yes,
going
miss.
from high resolution to very low
Meg-
resolution, back and forth.
Megan is correct about two right
What
angle
is going
triangles.
in and out? The image?
Yes,
Yes,
the
miss, it keeps on
resolution of
getting
Image?
the
blurry.
image. The resolution of the image.
Megan is correct about two right angle triangles being formed, but her reasoning is incorrect. It's blurry again.
Miss,
Let me
may you
let me
read it
read
to
it.
us?
So okay. So let me read it. But you can see the shape, right?
Yes, miss, we
The
can.
Yes,
shape
miss.
is a square. Yes. Okay, and we have the diagonal cutting it. So it says a square is shown with a diagonal. Megan says that two right angled triangles are formed by the diagonal and two sides because the opposite sides of a square are parallel. Megan is correct about two right angled triangles being formed, but her reasoning is incorrect. Explain the error she made in her reasoning and state the correct reason. So a square is shown with a diagonal. Megan says that two right angled triangles are formed by the diagonal and two sides because the opposites of a square are parallel. Megan is correct about two right angled triangles being formed, but her reasoning is incorrect. Explain the error made in her reasoning and state the correct reason.
This way I try.
Go ahead, Madison.
Because a square has a symmetrical, a line of symmetry going
It has 4
across.
lines of symmetry.
So you're saying that's the reason for what?
Miss, why
You're
two
saying
right angles
that's the
are?
reason for.
Miss, because it's
Okay.
on the diagonal.
All right. So the diagonal cuts the square into what kinds of triangles? Is it just two right angle triangles? Something special about those right
Equilateral.
angle triangles? No, not equilateral.
Isosceles, miss?
There are two right. There are two right angled isosceles triangles. Since all the sides of the square are equal, the diagonal cuts that square into two right isosceles triangles. So each of the right angles, each right angle triangle. So they have, this is 90 degree here as shown. What will be the measurement of each of these angles here in each of the isosceles triangles? What will be this measurement and this measurement, the angles? How many degrees would this angle be?
Both of them would be 45 degrees.
That's correct, right? So this is a special case
As usual.
because the four
Miss me.
sides of the square are equal and the square had four right angles, The square had four right angles. So the diagonal cuts each of those right angles into two 45 degrees. And that's why we have two isosceles triangles being created. They are right angle triangles and also isosceles. So they are right isosceles triangle, right? So it's not because the two opposite sides are parallel, which is true, Opposite sides of the square are parallel, but it's because all the sides of the square are equal. So the diagonal and the four right angles at the corners. So the diagonal is going to cut that square into two special right isosceles triangles. Now the next question, you're going to have to look at three different slides. So we're going to do them one slide at a time. And question 6, it says, the number of deliveries made daily for a week was recorded for 3 drivers in a delivery company. The manager of the company needs to reduce his team to 2 persons. Find estimates for the mean, mode, and median deliveries made by each driver. Explain how you would use these values, these 3 values, to decide which 2 drivers to select. So let me read that again. The number of deliveries made daily for a week, a 5-day week, a 5-day work week, was recorded for 3 drivers in a delivery company. The manager of the company needs to reduce his team to 2 persons. So he needs to fire one of the drivers. Find estimates for the mean, the mode, and the median deliveries made by each driver. Explain how you would use these 3 values to decide which of the 2 drivers you're going to select to keep and which one you're going to have to ask to leave. So for each of them, we're going to find the mean, mode, and median. So first, let us take the readings. So this is driver 1 on the first day, which we assume is Monday. So this is what? 160. So we have 160. The next day, that's 40. The next day, it's, what's that? It's between the 100 and the 120. So that's 110. This is also 40. And this one is 140. 140. All right. So what would be?
Miss, when you add it to the point, Miss, my answer is 98, Miss. Miss, because
For
when I add
what?
them, Miss for the mean.
For the mean?
Average.
Yes, Miss.
Okay, so let's write. So the mean, we'd add them up. So when you add them, the 160 plus 40 plus 110 plus 40 plus 140. You get what? 490? Did you get 490?
Yes, Miss.
That's what you got, John? So 490, and we're dividing that by 5, since it's 5. So when we divide the 490 by 5, we get 98. Okay, so the mean is 98. What's the mode?
Miss, the mode is 40.
40.
Mode is 40.
Okay, so the mode is 40. And the median?
Miss, the median
110. 110, Miss.
Oh, yes, Miss,
So if we put them in order, we have 40, 110 would fall in the middle. All right, so the median is 110. Let's look at the
Miss, would the range be 120, Miss?
Okay, well, we don't need a range for this one, but it would be 120.
Okay.
160 minus 40. So they asked us to compare the mean, the mode, and the median. So for driver 2, the mean, let's write the numbers. So for the first day, we have 100. Second day, 160. Third day, 160. Fourth day, that's 90. Halfway between the 80 and the 100, that's 90. And the fifth day is 130.
Miss, you answer the answer, Miss.
Did you work out the mean?
Yes, Miss, I worked out the mean.
What's the mean?
Miss, the mean is 120. Yes, it's 128. Miss, 128.
So when we add up the 100 and the 160 and the 160 and the 90 and the 130, we got 640. Yes, okay, and we divide that by the 5 because it's the same 5 days.
Miss, I got 132.
640 divided by 128. 128, right?
yes.
And the mode is what?
Miss, the mode is 160.
160 is the mode, that's the most frequent number. And the median?
Miss, 160.
Put in the
median 160.
Get the middle number. 90, 100, and then 130. 130 will be the median.
Yes, Miss. Miss, I got it next stuff. I didn't put it.
All right, so let's do it. Okay. Let's do it for the third driver now so we can compare. So for driver 3, the first day is 90 deliveries. The second day is 90. Every day is 90, isn't
90
it?
times 5.
Every day it's
Yes,
90.
miss. Miss,
So
so it is
everything is
90,
going to be
miss.
90.
90. Yes, miss. Miss, the mean is
Yeah,
90.
everything is going to be 90. The
The
mean
mean
Yes,
is
is
miss.
going to be
90, the
90.
median
Mode
is
is
90,
90. The median is 90. Okay?
everything
All
is
right. So
90.
mean, we don't even have to add them up because we know they're all 90. So mean is 90. Because if we add them up and divide by 5, we're going to get 90. The mode is 90. And the median, of course, is 90. So
How
looking at those
convenient.
figures now, which two drivers would you choose to
Miss the
keep?
first and the second. Miss
The
the first
first
and the
and the
second.
second, their
Yes, miss
averages are
first, second.
more higher
Or more
than
than
Because
whatever
what
that
the
is.
rationale?
Miss
So let's
because,
look
miss
back. So the
because,
first one, the average was 98,
yes, miss. Oh,
but then
yes.
he got two very small. The
Mode.
mode is
Yes.
very small, for
Miss, but
this
does it
drive.
have
But
to be about the mode?
actually the
two
second
day
and the
on
third.
2 days. On 2 days, he just delivered 40, and that's his mode. For driver
Miss,
Mm.
3,
actually
he's
I choose 2
Oh,
and
it's more than
3.
one.
128 for the mean, 160 for the mode. So we're definitely going with this driver. We know that, right?
Yes, miss.
Yes,
So we have to
miss.
think between driver 1 and 3.
1 and 2. Oh, yes,
I
yes,
would
miss.
go with 3 because
Yes, miss.
Yes,
he's
miss, because it's
consistent.
just very better. Yes, miss.
He has
Even
a
though it's
high
90,
number and is consistent.
even though it's 90, it's still good enough for the
You'll
day.
get
Yeah,
a lot of money.
even though the average for the first driver is a little bit over the third driver, there are 2 days when the first driver just, for whatever reason, he didn't deliver a lot. It
He
was way
gave up.
down at what? Yeah, just couldn't bother. So like, he's moody, depend on him. For driver 3, he's very reliable. Every single day he does the same thing. He delivers a good amount, 90 every day. So you can count on him. So we would choose drivers 1 and 3 because no, it's not 1 and 3.
This is, this is 2 and 3, miss
2
3
and
here.
3.
2 and 3 because 2 is a great performer right across the board, and 3 is a consistent driver. All right, so we have 4 questions to go. Madison, can you see question 7?
Yes, miss.
Read it, please.
For each statement, indicate with a tick the probability of the event occurring. A. Event A. Getting heads on the next flip of a fair coin after flipping 10 heads in a row. B. Selecting a red marble from a bag of white marbles. C. Rolling an even number on a standard cube die numbered 1 to 6. D. Selecting a ball number 13 from a bag of 36 balls numbered 1 to 36. Number 7. For each statement, indicate with a tick the probability of the event occurring. Event A. Getting heads on the next flip of a fair coin after flipping 10 heads in a row. B. Selecting a red marble from a bag of white marbles. C. Rolling an even number on a standard cube die numbered 1 to 6. D. Selecting a ball number 13 from a bag of 36 balls numbered 1 to 36.
Miss, can I go? Miss, can I do this first?
All right. Yes,
Miss,
John, please go.
okay, miss, getting heads on the next flip of a fair coin after flipping 10 heads in a row. Okay, miss, I would say likely, miss. No, Miss is actually certain.
Does everyone agree that that is likely to happen? Getting heads, flipping the coin. There are two
because you
possibilities,
could get
heads or
tails.
tails. So right. So I agree that's likely to happen.
Yes, Miss.
All right. How
Miss, I
about
selecting a
B?
red marble from a bag of white marbles. Miss, that's impossible, Miss, because basically it says a bag of white marbles. There's no red marbles.
Okay, so there are no red marbles, so it is impossible to get a red one. How about C?
Rolling an even number on a sun cube die, number 1 to 6. Miss, that is likely, Miss.
Yes, that's also likely. Yeah, you can
Okay.
roll it forever and never get an even number, even though there are 3 even numbers there. But it's likely to happen because they are there, right?
Yes,
It's
Miss.
not certain. It's not certain that you will get an even number because there are 3 odd numbers as well. How about D?
Okay, Miss B. Selecting ball number 14. Miss, I would say likely, Miss. There's a possibility though, because it says numbered 1 to 60.
Mm-hmm. Yes, so
Miss,
that's likely.
Miss, I was
None of
saying
those are certain. None of those is certain. So 3 are likely, 1 is impossible. All right, here's another probability question. Jer, can you see the screen?
Yes, Miss.
Please read.
A six died and a coin.
Six-sided.
A six-sided die and a coin are used in a game. The die has the number 1 to 6 on its sides, while the coin has H or heads H or tails T. If 3H and H3, as shown above, are considered to be one outcome of rolling the die and flipping the coin at the same time, how many possible outcomes are there? List all the possible outcomes of rolling the die and flipping the coin at the same time. What is the probability of the following outcomes? H6, an even number, an outcome which contains tails or T. A six-sided die and a coin are used in a game. The die has a number 1 to 6 on its sides, while the coin has heads H or tails T. If 3H and H3, as shown above, are considered to be one outcome of rolling the die and flipping the coin at the same time, how many possible outcomes are there? List the possible outcomes of rolling the die and flipping the coin at the same time. What is the probability of the following outcomes? H6, an even number, an outcome which contains tails or T.
All right, so let's list the possible outcomes. So they're saying 3 head and head 3 are the same outcome. So those aren't 2 different outcomes, right? So if we flip the die and the coin at the same time, so let's list the possibilities. So we can have, it can land on a 1 and a head, right? Or a 1 and a tail, 2 and a head, 2 and a tail. We can land 3 and the coin land on a head. Or the die land on 3 and the coin land on a tail. And we can do this up to number 6 because there are 6 possibilities for the die and 2 possibilities for the coin, right? So 4 head, 4 tail. Do you understand what I'm doing here?
Yes, Miss, I understand. Miss,
5 head,
Miss, listening to me. Miss, the one head and the
5
one tail is
tail.
saying it was the 6.
Yeah, there are 6 possibilities that the die can land on, and 2 possibilities that the coin can land on. The coin is either head or tail. The die can land on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or 6. So if we toss the 2 of them at the same time, we can have the die landing on one and the coin on head, or the die landing on one and the coin on tail, and the same thing for the other 5 numbers. So these are the possibilities. When we flip, these are the possibilities. Those are 12 possibilities, right? All right, so
It's for the die, Miss.
list
12
all the outcomes of
possibilities.
rolling the die and flipping the coin at the same time. So what's the probability of getting an H6?
List for
H.
all of them, I say likely.
Huh?
The probability.
What's the probability of getting a H6?
Mr.
Miss,
H6.
It
Miss,
will be
are we
1.
using likely or are we using fraction?
No. That's not what they want. They want what out of what? How
Miss
many
1. Miss, how you get
possibilities?
1?
So
Miss, how
there's
you
only
get
one H6 that can happen, and there are
on the
12
die?
possibilities. You get that?
1 out of 12
Oh.
chance.
Right. So it's 1 over 12 for getting an H6. 1 over 12. That's a possibility.
Miss, what's the next?
The possibility, the probability of getting an even number.
Oh,
What's that
even number,
probability?
Miss.
How many
Miss,
of these
even.
have even numbers in it?
Half
Miss
chance.
1,
Half
2,
chance.
2, 4,
3, 4,
6.
5, 6. 6.
6
Miss,
over
30 and
12,
a half.
right? Yeah.
Yes, Miss, it is a half.
So the probabilities are half for that. And
And so
the
for the
last
other one.
one,
Okay,
outcome
Miss.
which contains
Half.
a
Miss, a half again. Miss, a half again.
half, right? Because it's 6 tails out of the 12 possibilities. So that also is a half. All right, questions to go. Number 9, use the numbers 1 to 9 to fill in the blanks below. Each number can only be used once.
Miss, what does it mean by that?
So put in any numbers from 1 to 9, but it have to make sense.
Miss, 5 plus 2. 5 plus 2
So
equals
5
7.
plus 2 equals,
Miss, 7 minus 9. No, sorry.
no, that can't go.
Miss,
You
can
can
I
only
say?
use, you can only use each digit once. Go ahead, you try, Madison.
5 plus 2 equals 8 minus 1.
5
You
plus 2
mean 5
equals
plus
8
3?
minus 1. Yes, that can go.
Miss, I have one, Miss. Miss, I have an next one. Miss,
Go ahead.
5 plus 4 equals 9 minus 9. That gives you 0.
5
Miss,
plus 4 is 9. 9, and you can't have 9 minus 9.
Okay, Miss, 5
Because
plus
it's
4.
you'll
four
be
different
using 9
numbers.
twice.
Okay, Miss, then minus 1, Miss, that would give you 8.
Look, John, whatever you do on the left must be equal to what you do on the right.
Miss, may
So
I give
Madison,
another one?
was saying we could put 5 plus 2 is equal to 8 minus 1. 5 plus 2 gives 7. 8 minus 1 gives
No,
7. So
Miss,
that
8
could
minus.
work, right?
Yes,
Miss, I'm
This
miss.
kind of
is 7.
confused.
That is
You're
7.
not supposed to complete the sum. Both are supposed to equal the same thing.
Whatever you do
You're
over
not
here must be
completing the sum.
equal to whatever you do over there. So
Oh,
are
okay, I
there
understand it
other
now.
numbers we could fill in that make sense like that?
Yes, yes, Miss.
We
Yes,
could
Miss
only
Me, Miss.
use,
Can I say it?
yes, go ahead.
6 plus 4 equals 9 minus. No, sorry.
No,
No.
Miss, could I try?
Try again, John.
Okay, Miss. Miss, 4 plus 3 gives you 8 minus 1.
All right, so 4 plus 3 is equal to minus 1. That could work. Anything else?
Miss, could I go again?
Sure.
Okay. Miss 4 plus Miss 4 plus 2 gives you 7 minus 1.
4 plus 2. 4 plus 2 plus 7. 1.
Miss 5 plus
Go
3
again,
equals
Madison.
minus 1.
Go again.
5 plus 3 equals 9 minus 1.
Okay. We'll take 2 more and then we'll go to the next question. So 5
Okay,
plus
Miss,
3
could
equals 9 minus 1. All of these make sense. Give me
Miss,
2
could I
more.
go again?
Go
Okay,
again,
Miss.
John.
Okay, Miss. 3 plus 3 equals 7 minus 1.
3 plus 3 equals 7 minus 1. Idea, give me more. We get the idea, right, guys?
Yes, Miss.
Yes,
Give me
I got
another
the
2
one.
idea.
plus Miss 2 plus 3 equals 6 minus 1.
Yeah, that makes
2
sense.
plus 3 equals 6 minus 1. All right, so I think we get the idea. We get the idea.
Oh, wait, Miss, I
All
repeated a
right.
number, Miss, I repeated a number.
Which
See, Miss,
one?
the 3 plus 3, Miss, the
Oh,
3
you
plus
did the
3.
3 plus 3.
Yes,
Oh,
Miss.
yes. Realize that. Hold on. So we have one. I didn't
Okay,
realize that, John.
Miss, I have a next one, Miss. Miss, I have a next one, though.
Okay.
Okay, Miss, 2 plus 3 equals 6 minus 1. This is that.
See there?
Okay.
That's what Madison
Miss,
said.
1. Okay, Miss, 1 plus 3 equals 5 minus 1.
So 1. But you're going to repeat the 1.
You repeated the 1.
You're repeating the 1. So are these the only ones then we can come up with then?
No,
I
no,
think
Miss.
so.
Give me one last one. We must can think of another one.
Okay, Miss.
Are those the only ones?
No, Miss, Miss, there must be one more.
Give me
Miss,
the last
2, Miss, 2 plus 6 equals 9 minus 1.
All right, so all right, so 2 plus 6 equals 9 minus 1. All right, let's go on the last question. So we're to write the symbol less than, greater than, or equal to in the space below to make the number sentence true and explain your answer. So 2a, what symbol must go in the box? And then a squared is on the right. Is it less than, greater than, or equal to?
Miss, may I answer?
Oh,
Yes,
yeah,
Maddie.
this one is
Miss, I say equal to. So it would be 2 and A would be 2. Because 2 times 2 is 4. And 2 to the second power is also 4.
No, that is only true if a is 2.
Yes, Miss, that's what I
But
said.
a is a variable. A can be anything. So is it true for all values of a?
no, Miss. Miss will be Miss less than Miss. Miss less than because it's squared.
Right. It will be less than.
Yes,
The
Miss.
only time it's equal is if a is 2. In all other cases,
It would be less than.
it will be less than. So we'd have to put less than. So 2a is less than a squared. So for example, if a is 6, 2 times 6 would give 12. 6 sixes would give 36. 12 is less than 36. If A is 10, 2 tens 20, 10 squared is 100. 20 is less than 100. So for all values, and in our explanation, for the less than, we would have to say this is only true. So this is true for all values except what?
Miss, you say
All
again, Miss?
values
Except for 2.
Got two.
except for 2. So it's true for all values
Oh,
of A except A equals 2. Because when A is 2, then the sign change from less than to what?
Equal to.
Equal to. Except A equals 2. We'll put that in our explanation, right?
Yes, Miss. So we could put, Miss, could we put 2 if we explained our answer, or does it have to be
Right.
that?
I was thinking of that as well. I was thinking of that to say, so what would be your explanation if you put 2? If you put you're saying if you put equal, you would have to explain
Miss,
what?
I would say true for only 2, no other
Right.
number.
Right. So if you put the equal sign, you would say this is true only when A is equal to 2. So that could go, because they say explain your answer. For PEP, as long as you can give an explanation and it's logical, you can explain yourself, it makes sense, you're good to go. Just make sure you explain and it makes sense. That's the thing. So sometimes you're going to get open-ended questions that it's up to you. Even in the performance task, you notice sometimes you get options and you can choose your dimensions. You can choose the one you want to buy, and then your answer is going to be unique, or at least they're going to be a wide array of choices that are possible, even if it's not
Miss,
infinite.
unique to the people who chose that.
Exactly right. So as long as you can show you choose that and it makes sense and it follows the guidelines that you're given for that particular scenario, to go. You're good to go. You know what just occurred to me? Suppose A was a negative number, would it still be true? I know we don't really deal with negative numbers at PEP, but some of you are exposed to that. Would suppose A was -2, would it be less than or equal to?
Miss less than still Miss
It
because
would,
It would
the
still be less than?
negative
it would
numbers
still be
are
less than or equal.
yes, Miss.
Right. It would still be
Miss,
less than.
and it's because negative numbers are less than 0. Yeah.
Okay. So 2 times -2 would give -4, and -2 squared would give +4. So yes, that would apply.
It would
2
be
times
less
negative,
alone.
it would still be less than, right? Okay, so that's the wrap. That's the set of questions that the ministry gave out for this practice on. And how would you rate yourselves? How would each of
10
you
out of
rate
10.
yourself?
10 out of
9.5
10.
out of 10.
Did you get all questions right? Did you get
Miss,
all
I
10
got
questions?
1 wrong. I think I got 1 wrong.
Yeah. Miss, I rate myself 9 out of 10.
9.5
Was there
out of 10, not
any of the
polished.
question gave you problems?
Miss,
I
Miss,
don't
the one
remember.
with the probability, Miss, with the test and the thing and the core, Miss, but then I got it, Miss, so it was easy.
Oh, Miss, the one with
There
the
was
perimeter.
Oh, the perimeter one.
The one
Oh yeah, that one. But
pyramid.
that one was kind of easy for me though, as well. So
Even
I
though
don't
I
know which
got it
one.
after a while, it still gave me trouble.
Okay, but you understand now. So if you
Yes.
saw question down the road, you would know how to approach it, right?
Yes.
Probably.
And that's the whole, yeah, that's the whole point of us doing these classes. So build our practice, we'll get better and better so that when we see questions down the road, questions similar to these ones, or even if there's angle, as the foundation would have been so strong, you can tackle those questions. That's the point. So try not to miss any of the classes. Come to the performance task classes, come to the curriculum-based classes, ability test classes, the problem solving, critical thinking, all of the 5 classes that we have weekly. And about starting Monday, to do our PEP quizzes. You are going to compete against each other. The first 4 persons in the studio will be competing. So the system only lets in 5, myself being one. So the first 4 scholars will be the competitors, and we'll have our showdown, right?
You all
Friendly
gonna
competition.
lose. You all gonna lose. Haha. I am
You're
making the
all winning
player
already.
My internet is horrid.
Huh?
Excuse me,
Miss,
Hold on,
why couldn't
Alexandra,
you do
welcome. Go ahead, Alexandra.
Miss, when are we doing the quiz? Oh
It's
God.
going. The first quiz is going to be on Monday. I'm thinking about Monday at 5 or 6. Monday at 6 o'clock.
Miss Amari wants to
Monday
ask
at 6.
you a question.
Miss, I
Miss
have a
Amari
Hi,
wants to ask
Amari.
you.
Do you have a question? Yes, Amari.
Hello.
Go ahead, Amari.
Miss, if you're on quizzes on the YouTube, would you be able to join the quizzes?
It's Amari. I think you're mixing it up with the quizzes that we do in class. I'm not talking about that quizzes. I mean, we this studio will have maths quizzes
Oh.
where I will
Miss, I have
ask
a
questions
question.
and you will comment, and I will give you your scores, and then I'll tell you who is the winner at the end. But it's a friendly match. Friendly
I
match.
know.
Miss,
There's other one
Miss,
friendly fire, Miss.
Yes, Madison.
Tell me something else.
Yes,
why couldn't
friendly fire.
you do it on Zoom and record it so that it goes on YouTube?
It does go on YouTube. This goes on YouTube, Madison.
YouTube. It is streaming live to YouTube right now, you know.
Yes, Miss, I know. That's why I
All
was saying you could record it so that it goes on YouTube. Just how
But
it goes on
that,
YouTube and you could get more people.
it will live. It will go on
Oh,
YouTube live. All the quizzes will go on YouTube live. So if you don't win, don't cry. Just come back the next day
I'm trying to win
and
again.
try again.
Miss,
And if you win, laugh at your classmates, scholars. Just know that that day was your day, and tomorrow they're gonna whip you, and the next body else get whipped, and that's how it's gonna go, right?
yes, Miss, I've experienced that.
Oh, so we have to be able to turn up and take some whippings from our fellow scholars. We're all in it to learn from each other.
Miss,
And just for the fact of you being here, you're a winner just for that. Just for the fact that you're making effort, taking the time on your skills, that alone makes you a winner. So thank you, scholars, for being with me again. I appreciate your company and your
Bye, miss.
efforts. Those
Miss,
in the
miss,
chat, those in that,
miss, I'm asking a
yes.
question if I could. Miss, I was asking if I could leave
Go
now.
ahead, John.
Miss, I was asking if I could
Well, we're
leave
all
now.
leaving now. We're all leaving now, John. So you may go.
Bye, miss.
All right,
Bye.
scholars. I'll see you
Future
on
class.
Monday.
Yes, miss.
Enjoy your weekend.
While I still can, miss, that's what you mean. Bye, miss.
Huh? Bye, John. Hello, CSEC math students. I know you are busy for your math tests and your CSEC exams coming up. I have a very important question to ask you. My new hat. Now, another important question. Have you ever a math problem wrong simply because of making one little mistake? I'm sure you have, as thousands of other students have. Now, in this series, we're going to be looking at the common mistakes that students make with all the topics in CSEC. We're going to look at the common errors, demystify everything, make sure you watch every video in this series so that you can avoid making those mistakes. So stay tuned. Hello, scholars. Times when students get problems wrong in mathematics is as a result of one single error, one mistake. Well, this is absolutely true, and we're going to be looking at common errors that students make in the different topics in mathematics. If we know the errors beforehand, take my hand.